Hello and welcome to our client boosting workshop, and I've created this workshop specifically for aspiring session drummers that want to find more clients. The majority of the session drummers that I've been in touch with are relatively new to the game and therefore find it very difficult to find new clients. The reason this is because if you're new and you don't have much of a reputation, people are going to struggle to find you, and even if they do, they will likely not be convinced to want to work with you yet. So the best thing for you to do right now is to use a method that I've learned off Brian Hood of the Six Figure Home Studio called cold outreach. I want to give a massive shout out to Brian because this technique is, well, I wouldn't have a business if it wasn't for this technique. Every single client that I have now is because of this technique. So I wanted to take what Brian's taught me and make it relevant to you, an aspiring session drummer. This technique basically involves finding people that are suitable for your business, aka a lead. You then go on to nurture and build a relationship with them, and then in turn one day hopefully have them as your client. People are not going to want to work with you to start with if you don't have any reviews, you don't have any testimonials, you don't have a portfolio. This is the biggest struggle for drummers to start with because it's a catch-22 sort of process where they can't find work because they don't have a portfolio, but they can't build a portfolio because they can't find work. So it keeps going round and round and round. And if you just sit there waiting for someone to come to you to build your portfolio, it's not going to happen. So what you need to do is go out and find the clients yourself. And this is what I'm going to teach you in this first part now. The first thing that I want to do now as part of this workshop is to teach you how to actually go out and find a potential client yourself. So I've got 4 main ways for you here, which I've personally had a look for and done some research on, that I think that a drummer from anywhere in the world can easily find work. And this is either if you're recording remotely, sending stems over to artists, or even if you want to tour with musicians. Personally, I think it's super important that you take notes during this workshop because it's a really good way for you to actually start getting clients. And if you don't take notes and you just watch this passively, then you're not going to be making the most out of this information. It will be the top 5 or 10% of people who watch this all the way through who actually take action that will end up seeing results and have a better chance of making a success of themselves. So without further ado, I'm going to move on now. But if you want to quickly pause this video and grab a pen and a notebook, then please do. Right, the first way that you can go out and find leads or potential clients is through Instagram. And this is the main way I do it. And personally, the way I do it is I type in a hashtag that I can imagine my potential client using in one of their posts, and I'll type it in the search bar at the top here. Instantly, I'll have literally thousands of posts, recent posts, top posts of people that I could possibly work with, just lists and lists and lists of drummers and leads that I could possibly work with. So this is a really valuable way of finding leads. There's literally thousands at your disposal if you use this right. So what I've done here is I've typed in hashtag producer, and if you are wanting to play on remote recordings, then perhaps a producer will be the right sort of person to look for, especially if they're making beats themselves but they don't have a drummer to play on their songs. So if you go and type in producer, for example, and this you see you've got your top posts and you've got your most recent. So I suggest you go on most recent because your top posts are people that have thousands of thousands, hundreds of thousands even of followers, and I must admit it's very hard to get a reply off most of them sorts of people. So if you go into the most recent posts and just work your way down and just click on some profiles and just have a look at the profile, see what they do, see the kind of music they work with, and just kind of gauge to see if you think that they'd be the right fit for you. See if, just from their profile, do you think that they need a drummer? Do you think that they need some session work doing? And just have a bit of a hover around and like some of the posts, and then that's where we go into contacting them. So this is just one example of something that you could use on Instagram. You could type in a genre of music that you work with. You could type in so many things. The possibilities are endless. It's just about thinking out the box here. Just picture in your head somebody that could use your services and just kind of imagine what they'd be posting about and what kind of content they will be posting. And then from there, what hashtags do you think that they will use? If you can really place yourself inside the head of a potential client, then this is really handy, and you'll be able to dive in quite deep with this and therefore find so many potential clients to work with. More specifically now, I'm on beatstars.com, which is a beat selling website for producers, and there's literally any genre you can think of on here of producers that produce their own beats, and they're either selling them or selling the rights to the song. And here you'll come across thousands of producers that are possibly looking for someone to drum on their next beat or on a instrumental for them. So if we go up here, we go to all genres, and say, for example, you work with rock music. So click down onto rock. The good thing is, if you're doing remote session recording, then it doesn't matter where you are in the world compared to these people. You can work with them from anywhere, no matter where they are. So you don't have to be location specific with this. However, here you've got tons and tons of recordings and instrumentals and beats, and you could literally just start playing through them all, seeing which ones that you do like the sound of and which ones that you can imagine yourself playing on as a session drummer in a certain niche. You can see you've got a ton of just options here. You just need to scroll through, just listen to some, and then from there, for example, say if you like a certain producer, you can click onto the profile here and you can just drop them a message on the platform. Some of them on the about section do have emails, but you can see this particular producer doesn't have any other information. But yeah, this is where you can contact them, which again, we'll go into in the next step, but this is just how you can actually go out and find the kinds of people that would possibly want to work with you. So this is specifically for if you want to be a session artist and actually play on people's beats and songs. Right here, we've got a popular Join My Band website, actually called joinmyband.co.uk, and I've used this before in the past. It's got thousands and thousands of posts on there. This is specifically in the UK. However, we have got a joinaband.com here for if you're in the US, but there are tons and tons of musician directory websites in every country, no matter where you're from. So I'm just showing you specifically now just these two. However, there are tons and tons out there. If you just want to type into Google musicians directory or join a band, something along them lines, and you'll be able to find a website similar to this. So you can see here on this UK based website, you've got all the different areas of the UK that it's basically just people posting ads to join a band or ads requiring a band member. So if you go into Greater Manchester, and we can search here drummer, and here we've got all kinds of ads looking for a versatile drummer, Manchester. Drummer available for any project. Well, that won't be too handy for you. We need a drummer. You just want to be looking out for adverts like this. The good thing about this is if you're wanting to be a live session drummer and play with bands live as opposed to the remote session recording, or even as well as, then you've got tons and tons of people here looking for drummers, which is then when you can message them and offer your services to either join them full time or fill in for shows until they find a drummer. So it's pretty much the same on this US based site here, joinaband.com. If we click on drummer here, on musician type, and we can choose a state here, got Indiana, and then you've got some adverts here, singer looking for band or other musicians, looking for members to start a band, guitarist, bassist and drummer needed. You've got loads of adverts here which you can then again go through, have a look at the information, see whereabouts are located to you, because obviously location plays a big part in this if you wanted to be touring with them, because you will have to be relatively close to them in order to make practices and meet them in person, etc. So yeah, it's a really good platform for this, and there are tons of musician directory websites out there. You just need to look for them. There's massive possibilities here, whether you're a online remote recording session drumming artist or whether you want to go out and tour with bands. There's some really good options here for you to choose from.